Well, this is going to be the rest of our season. It's just going to be people time after time milking the whole Cincinnati Bengals suck bandwagon and sitting there and taking shots at us. That's going to be the rest of the season. I already understand it. They do it when we're good. Even when we're successful and we're good, they still sit there and take shots at us. So now that they have more rhyme and reason to do so, they're going to go ahead and do so. And this is coming in here from Bill Simmons, who, I'll be honest with you, I had no idea who this dude was. I really didn't. I mean, maybe I'm just too young or something. I don't know. I didn't know who this dude was. But he apparently has his own podcast.
Well, it's interesting because my beloved Patriots, they did the opposite. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And this is a team that really needed, over everything else, an edge rusher, which your Eagles went and got Jalen Phillips. Maybe the Dolphins didn't want to trade in division. I don't know the history behind that. But the Patriots needed an edge rusher. They really needed a wide receiver other than Diggs who can get open on 3rd and 8. And Diggs is playing between 40 and 55% of the snaps, right? And you look at the guy, once Booty went out last week, it like Matt Collins played 3/5 of the game. Kyle Williams, who I can't remember a single play he's made all year. He played half the game. So I see, like, whether it was somebody like Shaheed, which we'll talk about in a second, I thought that guy's always open 5 times a game. He just has never had a quarterback who can reach him, but he's always down the field with 3 steps on somebody. Whether they got somebody like that or a Cooper Kupp type. Cooper Kupp, obviously not him because he's on a team, but they did nothing. And do you feel like the Colts are that far ahead of the Pats to try to make the AFC title game? I don't feel that way.
No, absolutely not. And I thought the Patriots were going to be aggressive here because they're one of those teams that has the cap space, as you know, in season. So they could have taken on a Trey Hendrickson.
The cap space? We have $48 million.
That's what I'm saying.
We have like $17 million more than anyone else in the league.
I know. So you could have taken on someone like Trey Hendrickson here. I thought Chris Olave on the Saints. I thought, do you get aggressive and give them like a 2nd-round pick for Chris Olave? Do they do that deal? I'm with you on Shaheed. You know, the deal the Seahawks made, I would have done that deal if I were the Patriots. So yeah, I would be a little disappointed if I were the Patriots. I mean, I think they have a chance. Again, those future draft picks are valuable, but they know they're not going to need to use those on a quarterback. So I can't believe Trey Hendrickson didn't get... I mean, what are you doing if you're the Bengals? Like, this to me is organizational malpractice where your team has no shot this year. The guy's a free agent at the end of the year and you're trying to leave. Like, you can't just say, I think the price is a 1st round. The price is what someone is willing to pay. So you shop him. What's the best deal I can get? And those teams, like, if I'm a fan of one of those teams that is out of it and just held on to one of these guys who's gone after the year, I would just be so upset with my front office.
Their season ended on Sunday.
Yes.
Just period. It was probably over already, but it definitely ended on Sunday with Caleb Williams hitting Loveland over the middle and 3 guys blowing the tackle. I'm with you. I mean, they do this. And if you go, like, as you know, I like searching the team Reddits. It's one of the only Reddit searches I do. I just like to check the mood. I have all the teams bookmarked. Bengals Reddit's a grim place, man. That is like about as dark as you're going to get out of the 32 teams they just don't spend money. They don't care about anything. They're basically like the Clippers when Donald Sterling owned them, of just like happy to cash all the media paychecks from the league, spending just enough money to seem like they care, but not really. And then the team they put together this year, just to pay Burrow and 2 wide receivers, have no offensive line and no defense, and think that was going to work. It was idiotic.
Yeah. And they've spent so much draft capital on that defense. Like, they've tried to invest resources and none of the picks have pinned. I mean, that's one of the worst defense. I think you said it on Sunday. It's absolutely in the running for one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. I think there's 5 games this year where an offense has had 500 yards and 3 of them have been against the Bengals.
They're really, truly generationally horrible. Like, one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. Back to the Jets.
They call him like a really important person. I don't know. But anyway, he's going to criticize us about the fact that we didn't trade away Trey Hendrickson, which I understand the concept. It really doesn't matter, I don't think. Like, trading away Trey Hendrickson or keeping him doesn't really change anything. Like, if we keep him, we're probably going to franchise tag him at the end of this year. which means we're going to keep him for the long foreseeable future. He'll cost us $39 million fully guaranteed next year. But if we got rid of him, we would get a third-round compensatory pick. Now, we wouldn't get it this year. We get it next year. But in reality, teams only wanted to give up a third-round pick for him. So I don't really understand how you could criticize us for not trading the guy away. Like, it doesn't help us this season. Yeah, maybe we get a third-round pick this year instead of next year. But at the end of the day, we have to fire Duke Tobin. We have to fire Zach Taylor. And having a draft pick a year later means that maybe that's more time for them to actually get it done. And by that time, we might actually have a competent front office. So if anything, it's probably better to wait, because if you're going to let the guy go anyway, then you are going to get a better draft pick in a better situation. I don't know how the Bengals are going to operate this year and this offseason. I think they're going to keep Zach Taylor. Maybe they do fire Duke Tobin, but I think they're still going to keep majority of the front office intact. And if that's the case, that means our scouting department is going to be intact, and our scouting department sucks. So, again, I look at it like that it's probably better we get the draft pick for next year, not this year, because this year, this is going to be a mess. Beside the point, I think we're going to franchise tag him and keep him, so it doesn't really matter. And I think that was very clear. They went from winning a first-round pick to a second-round pick. He said their season ended on Sunday. It was probably over already, but it definitely ended on Sunday when Caleb Williams hitting Colston Loveland over the middle and 3 guys blowing the tackle. Yes, I think our season ended against the Jets. In all honesty, I think that was kind of when it exploded. But I can agree with that. I like searching the team's Reddit. It's one of the only Reddit searches I do. I just like to check the mood. Bengals Reddit is a grim place. First off, Reddit is like a toxic pit of nonsense every 3 seconds. Nobody, realistically speaking, should be going on Reddit and checking Reddit for anything when it comes to opinions or statements or anything. I could post on Reddit right now, Joe Burrow was a great quarterback, and I will get 100, 200 people in there telling me why Joe Burrow sucks and he's overrated and he's injury prone and he's just not good. Okay? Like, it is what it is, man. Reddit is a toxic cesspool. So, it's always, based on what I've seen from Reddit, majority of the time, it's always negative. Even when it's like Bengals fans about their own team or any team, it's always negative. I mean, Reddit is a place where even if your team's 11-0, they go on there and you have fans of that team say why the team is just simply not good enough or why their offense isn't clicking. Like, they just find negative things to say just to say them. That's what Reddit is. So, that's the worst place to check. Like, it's just not a good place to check. Man, that's it. Like, about as dark as you're going to get out of the 32 teams. They don't spend money. They don't care about anything. Okay, first off, see, this is why you don't go on Reddit, my guy. They don't spend money. We spent money on Jamar Chase and on T. Higgins and gave Trey an extension. This narrative that we don't spend money is a stupid narrative that keeps getting spread around. We don't spend money smartly. Can we understand this? We do spend money. We don't spend money smartly. There was a time back in 2000 and honestly all the way up to 2020 where we didn't spend money at all. Yeah, you are right. We were very cheap all the way up to 2020. In the last 5 years under Joe Burrow, now a quarterback, we have spent money, but we don't spend it smartly. Like, we spend $198 million on an offense and $90 million on the defense. So, like, the narrative that we're cheap now is just not true. It was true back in the day, all the way up to 2020. But the last 5 years, it actually has not been true. But what has been true is we don't know how to spend money. That's our problem now. We now are spending it. We just don't know how to spend it and where to spend it. And we just do whatever we think is smart, which is never smart. They don't care about anything. I agree with that one, baby. That one, he's hitting the nail on the hammer. They really don't. They just care about money. Well, that's not true. They do care about something. They care about money. They care about making money. That's what the Brown family and the Blackburn family care about. They're basically like the Clippers when Donald Sterling owned them, just happy to cash all the media paychecks from the league. Well, yes, see, that's a point, though. They do care about something. They care about making money and milking fans for all their money. They do care. They just don't care about the right things. Spending just enough money to seem like they care, but not really. See, again, last 5 years, I don't agree with that. They just don't know how to do it. Then the team they put together this year just to pay Burrow and 2 receivers have no offensive line and no defense, and they think they're going to work. It was idiotic. And I agree with that 100%. I've said this before. Zach Taylor preaches this to all the high heavens, where he keeps saying over and over again, well, we did this and we got to a Super Bowl. And because we got to a Super Bowl with this method, it's going to work again. It's going to work again. It's going to work again. It's never going to work again. That was a 1 in a million thing that happened, and it simply is not going to work again. Cincinnati has deteriorated slowly, but surely since the team went to the Super Bowl a little less than 4 years ago. I would say they completely deteriorated. Are you kidding me? That defense is nothing like Super Bowl defense. The offensive line was actually worse, surprisingly enough, but still. They constantly can't draft a solid talent on the defensive side of the ball, and it left them with arguably the biggest chasm in the league this season between offense and defense success. Cincinnati has the second worst chances of any 3-win team to make the playoffs on the ESPN Football Power Index. 6.3%, only Washington is lower. See, this is why there's sometimes when I read these things where I'm like, it's just kind of stupid, to be honest. ESPN hates us, okay? Seeing ESPN say, hey, the Bengals don't have a chance to make the playoffs, or they have a 6.3% chance, and I agree. I don't think we do have a chance to make the playoffs right now. I agree with that 100%. But my point is, like, seeing ESPN saying that is like seeing a blog on, like, BaltimoreRavens.com, right? And it says, Bengals, 0% chance to make the playoffs. I see it on BaltimoreRavens.com, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't care. I really don't care what they have to say. That's kind of how it is with ESPN, man. It's like, it's the same equivalent. When I see ESPN, I'm thinking, okay, well, pretty much equivalent of a Steelers vlog or a Ravens vlog or a Browns vlog. Like, I don't really give a crap about them at this point, because anything they say is just going to be negative because they hate us. Like, it is what it is. Like, you know, I wouldn't go to a Steelers vlog if I'm looking at positive Raven stuff, right? It just wouldn't make sense. But across the board, this article did not mention one time. I guess, okay, so the whole thing is not caring about anything. So the whole thing is we didn't trade away Trey Hendrickson because we don't care about anything. Okay, so I thought he was actually going to trash us a little bit more, I'll be honest with you. The top media personality compared Cincinnati to its lowest history of the NBA Clippers franchise after they failed to trade away Trey Hendrickson. I don't really get anything in here that would suggest that. I mean, unless I'm incorrect, nothing in here says that he's saying this because we traded away Trey Hendrickson. I thought that he's just saying this because we lost to the Bears. That's what it seems like on this front. Again, trading away, I don't see anything. He didn't even mention Trey Hendrickson. So maybe he does in the full film, full video. But, okay. Again, point stands. I still think trading away Trey Hendrickson, it's not that big of a deal. If we did it, cool. If we didn't do it, whatever. It's not going to change anything. So, let me know below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys next one.